Hi, ladies.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Hello, Casey.
Good
Yay. I'm
morning.
going to turn my volume up a little bit so I can hear you better. There we go.
Okay.
Casey, this is a dumb question. Where are you right now?
I am at my house in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, in Richmond. Okay,
Okay,
okay.
cool. Of course, when people have really cool backgrounds, that's a great point. We
I
don't
know,
know
but
where they are.
what's
You could
happening?
be
In a
anywhere.
Starbucks?
No,
Yeah,
You could
totally.
be
no.
in a
I'm in my
restaurant.
den, so it wasn't as cute. I didn't clean it up for you guys.
I love
Well,
that.
you're very on
I
brand.
know. It looks
Yeah,
fantastic.
that was the point.
Casey, while people were hopping on, tell us what your coffee order is.
Ooh, I am a iced coffee girl with just a splash of almond milk.
Ooh,
So pretty
Yum.
basic. No
Yum.
sweetener, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Just take the bite out of it with the almond milk.
Yeah.
sure.
Yum.
Yum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want that.
Yeah.
Okay, Casey. So, what I want to do is understand a little bit about. Let me just start by saying the reason that that we're here with you today is because of my cousin John, who is awesome, and his wife Chase, who are in Charlotte. And Chase has MS, and they have been just really involved in this fundraising effort and in this, the National MS Society. Am I saying that right? The National
Yeah.
MS Society. Okay.
Yep.
And so, Casey, what we'd love to know from you is kind of how you got involved, and then can you tell us what is happening with the research that's happening and with the National MS Society, kind of the strides that are being made?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
First, we love John and his connection to you and getting us, connected with you. And so we appreciate him and all that he does for the efforts of people living with MS. And personally, for me, I got involved about 10 years ago with the MS Society. My best friend's dad lives with MS. And so he was my first introduction into someone living with MS. And over the last 10 years, and then also my friendship with him, I've seen the progression of the disease and how it's affected the whole family, really. So he was my first introduction into the society. I started in the bike world originally out of Charlottesville, Virginia, and have kind of just worked with Bike MS since then, and really seen the progression that we've made also at the organization in terms of treatment and just discovering more about it and discovering the prevalence of the disease across the United States too. So lots happening in our world in terms of research. We at the MS Society have been able to have a hand in every treatment that's gone on the market. So that's through our fundraising dollars. We've been able to fund some research that has really made progress in making the lives of people living with MS a lot easier.
Okay, and so I mean, for people who don't know multiple sclerosis, can you tell us kind of what are some of like what is it like to live with MS? And then what have these most recent treatments done to help improve that quality of life?
Good question.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty unpredictable disease. So it is a disabling disease of the central nervous system. So it disrupts the flow of information from the brain and then between the brain and the body. So it really affects each person differently because of that. Symptoms can include fatigue is a huge symptom for a lot of people, optic neuritis. So double vision or blurred vision is usually an early symptom that gets you into the doctor's office, eventually to a neurologist, and just starts the diagnosis process. There's numbness and tingling a lot of times that's associated with it, but there's just varying degrees of what people deal with and the symptoms that are involved. And so, right now, with the MS Society and research that's on and drugs that are on the market, a lot of the time we are treating the progression and the symptoms
Hmm.
that are happening with MS.
Okay.
So we don't have a cure yet. That is our ultimate goal, and our vision, as we go forward at the MS Society. And so our role at the MS Society is also to make the lives of people living with MS a lot easier, through that discovery of how to treat those symptoms, and then also just providing services. So if you need home modifications, or if you need to be connected to financial help, like that's our role, and kind of touching all the different aspects of someone's life who lives with this disease.
So the funds you guys raise have so many different avenues that they go down. I think
Absolutely.
that's really cool. So can you talk about one of your big fundraising efforts that I think it's happening right down the road with Bike MS? And I know that that's coming up here in New Bern soon. And we're just curious if you could fill us in and fill our people in on exactly what that event entails.
Yeah, we have been in Eastern North Carolina. This will be our 37th year
Wow.
riding on the East Coast of North
So cool.
Carolina. And so we've been around for a long time. I think we've been around in New Bern since like 2000. And so it's one of our largest revenue streams for the MS Society. Bike MS as a whole, we have over 50 rides across the country and they raise over $50 million every year.
Wow.
So it is a huge funder of the research and the advocacy and the connections that we're providing with people living with MS. So it's one of our biggest events. New Bern specifically is in the top 10 of those 50
Wow.
events, which is pretty cool for a small town
Hey, New
Yeah.
Bern.
in North Carolina. But the community in New Bern has been awesome and really embraced the event itself. And so that's how we've become so successful. But the event raises annually about $1.6 million, which is incredible.
Crazy. And that's
And has
just the Newbern event, right, Casey?
just the New Bern event.
It's pretty crazy. I
Whoa.
know.
Yeah,
And it's
That's
it's
so
amazing.
huge financial goals. Yeah.
yes, huge financial goals. And so that's made up of, peer-to-peer fundraising. So cyclists register, they tap into their networks for fundraising dollars. It's through cash sponsors, in-kind donations, things like that that really like help boost our revenue. And we have about 1,200 cyclists that register every year.
Wow.
So big community in New Bern. Also, people from over 30 states come in to ride in the event. So it has reached beyond New Bern too.
And
Wow.
it's really cool. Okay, when you come in and you ride, you can. So if someone wants to participate, they
Yes,
could register to ride. And I know it's so much fun, even if you don't live in New Bern, to go there. New Bern's so charming and so cool to be down there, restaurants and the shops and the waterfront and all that cool stuff. So people come in, they ride, they create a team or they fundraise to support their ride, correct?
correct. Yep. So we
Okay.
have a registration process, registration fee, and then each cyclist fundraises at least $300. So that's not out of their pocket. That's them saying, "Hey, I'm about to do this challenge. I have this connection to the disease. Will you donate, anywhere from like you can do a pledge for $1 for every mile that person rides, or
Cool.
there's a lot of creative ideas to get there.
Okay, and I'm sure you guys have examples of what the best practices are for that, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's
Okay.
my job. That's my job to help the
Okay.
people
Nice.
raise the money.
I love that. Okay, so Casey, if someone wants to sign up to ride, they can do that, and that could be hugely impactful, y'all. And this is the weekend
Yes,
of September 6th and 7th, right?
correct.
And you can
Yep.
ride one day or you can ride both days.
Yes,
Is
we
that
have
correct?
routes for every level of cyclist. So if you need to dust off that old bike that you got
Twin?
at Walmart, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
we can
The
we can
twin.
accommodate you.
Good
Okay.
bike brand then.
I mean, totally. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so there's that. Okay, and then let's say that you're thinking that you might fall off your bike and it might not be the best move for you. Volunteering would be another way that you could get involved. Okay, and tell us about that.
absolutely.
What would that look like?
We have this event takes over 400 volunteers to put on. So, from Friday when the festivities kick off to Saturday when the cyclists leave out on the route to Sunday when they do it all again, it takes a lot of effort. And we cover, over 100 miles each day of road. And so we have rest stops every 10 to 15 miles where we need volunteers. We have set up, tear down volunteers. If you are favorable to the air conditioning, we have volunteer positions within the convention center, checking in cyclists. So really just lots of opportunity there for all types of people, all abilities. It takes a lot to put this event on.
Wow.
I
Wow.
love that there are a couple of ways that you can actually physically make a difference that weekend and be a part of it. I know that it has such a great vibe and then it's so much fun to feel like that you're not only enjoying this really cool spot in Eastern North Carolina, but also contributing
Mhm.
to moving this research forward and to make the lives of folks living with MS more comfortable, which is so cool. And so then I guess one way, if someone, let's say guys that you're watching this and you are not available the weekend of September 6th and 7th, then you have the option to make a donation. Is that right, Casey?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. Okay. And we can post
We
those ones.
accept donations online or by check. However, you would like to do it, we would appreciate any kind of donation to the cause.
Amazing. Now, Casey, personal question. Do you attend the New Bern event specifically?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
what are you looking forward to most for this year's race? I love to know people.
Ooh.
It can be small or it can be big.
I mean, there's so many, I just got goosebumps thinking about it. There's so many options. I think one of the biggest things this year that's different from years past is we've added a gravel route option
Ooh,
through the Croatan National Forest. So this is something that we're piloting for the first time. We're the only bike event in the country doing it for Bike MS. And it is a gravel event. And so we're kind of trying to tap into a new cyclist demographic, maybe
cool.
a younger demographic. And so that will be on the road for about 9 miles, then a 20-mile loop within the forest, and then back to the finish line with all the other cyclists. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. And to grow this part of the ride. But personally, my favorite is really watching our people living with MS. We call them our I Ride with MS cyclists. They start out the ride on Sunday. They wear their I Ride with MS jerseys if they've opted into the program. And it's a pretty profound moment watching them start and lead out the thousands of cyclists out on the road on Sunday. So that's my
Wow.
favorite part.
That's
That's
really
really
good.
cool. Oh, I bet that's a
Yeah,
touching moment.
definitely.
Do you have any other questions for Casey? I feel like I just learned a lot.
I know,
That's
me
awesome.
too. Casey, what have we missed? Is there anything people need to know that we haven't covered?
Um, Let me think. Gosh, there's just like so much in terms of where we're going with the MS Society and the
Great.
research that's on the horizon. I just think it's a really exciting time to be part of this movement, and to have a hand in curing MS, in our lifetime. That is our goal, and that is something that, we are promising to people. So, it's a great time to get involved and kind of be part of that life-changing impact.
That's awesome. We'll make sure people can read more about the National MS Society and Bike MS. We'll put the links in the comments so they can easily click over. But thank you so much for
No,
sharing all that
Casey, thank
information
you.
today.
Thank
Of
you.
course.
We look forward to having you in Newburgh in
I
in
know.
just a few weeks.
I
Absolutely.
know. But
Awesome.
before we let you go, MC has a final question for
I
you.
do. Casey, we would love
Okay.
to know what is saving your life right now.
Oof. Well, it kind of relates to obviously the MS Society and what we're doing at the mission, but also personally. But I think medicine, doctors, nurses, researchers, um, has just been amazing. So with them paving the way when it comes to finding a cure for MS and then really alleviating a lot of the hardship that people living with MS have, I think medicine.
That's a
That's
good
a good
one.
one. That's a good
Yeah.
answer. Thank you, Casey. We really
Of
appreciate
course.
it. And we'll make sure everybody has all the links they need.
Awesome. Well, thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Have a great
Of course.
weekend.
Bye.
Enjoy your coffee.
Thanks. Bye.
I really love when people have like personal ties to what their profession is.
I do
Like
too.
I feel like it makes it really fulfilling for them. And, she's been there for 10 years.
Right. She's
That's,
clearly very passionate about it
yeah.
and really cool to hear about. I love what she said that that's what they're promising people, a
Hmm.
cure
Yeah.
during our lifetime.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Okay, Meg, what is saving your life right now?
So you're gonna think I'm crazy. I have not wanted coffee right now. I've not wanted coffee.
Heard.
I don't know. I don't know. So what I've been doing is making a little iced matcha every morning at home. I never make iced matcha at home. But what I'm doing is it's a cinnamon coffee cake matcha. So I get the little powders. They're from Trader Joe's. There's probably better quality matcha out there, but I do the powdered matcha, almond milk, a little skosh, as you would say,
Skosh.
of the Chobani, what's it called? Coffee cake creamer,
Oh, yum.
a little dash of maple syrup because I like a little bit
Yeah.
sweet, and then I put in the blender. That's been my coffee order in the morning. So iced matchas.
That actually
Iced
sounds
matchas for
really
mama.
good.
Yeah.
Do you ever still have that when you come into the office? Because I'm gonna have a sip of it.
I usually finish it before I get here,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'll try
I'll try.
and savor.
Okay.
I'll make you one and drop it on your doorstep.
I love that. I
Yes.
love that.
What about you?
Okay, it's so funny because mine is also food and drink related.
Great.
Mine is a summer supper that I had recently. Okay. It was crab cakes. Okay. My friend Christopher made them and
Mm.
it's just crab. I don't, and maybe like
Not
an
bready.
egg or no.
Mm,
Okay, and then there was like a dill dipping sauce. Okay, so
yum.
there's that. Then we had tomato pie. Okay,
Homemade by Christopher as
there
well.
were two. Nope, Renee made the tomato pies. There were two. One of them was a traditional one with the crust, and it had crumbled up goldfish on top. I didn't eat that one because I don't eat gluten.
That's
So I
right.
had the other one, which was a sweet potato crust. Okay, okay. The Marina Wright Wellness. I follow this account on Instagram called Marina Wright Wellness. I think she's Australian, but she was making something. It was not a tomato pie. It was something else in a sweet potato crust. And so we just took that recipe and then used it for this for the tomato pie.
What is part of the tomato pie filling other than tomatoes?
Okay, it's tomatoes, mayonnaise, cheese, basil, salt and pepper, and then on the
Mm,
top there were some crumbled up cheddar gluten-free crackers to give it some crunch.
sounds so good.
Okay, and then the last thing was a peach and blueberry crumble. Yo, I love
I
a
want
crumble
it.
so much. I
I
love
just
it.
want the crumble one.
Okay, it was so good. Greta made that. It was this huge peach and blueberry crumble, and it had all these oats and delicious brown sugar.
Wow.
Okay, a summer supper, you
That
guys.
sounds
There were
delicious.
also crab legs involved with butter.
The butter.
I
Butter
know.
doesn't have gluten, does it?
I know. Love butter.
Mm.
Okay, anyway, this is your sign to fix a summer supper. Well, there's all these just good, delicious things. A good old tomato pie. Y'all, did you forget about them? Because I did.
Just sounds so good. Okay. Running home
Okay,
to make
if
that.
anybody wants a sweet potato crust recipe, just let us know. I'll send it to you. Okay, happy
Bye.
Friday. Bye.